Good afternoon, good evening, South Sudan. Welcome to another episode of Gender Talk 211. Today we have someone very, very special with us, visual artist Abul Oyay, the woman who brought to you the Malaya exhibition, the Loose Woman exhibition, the Baobab House Art Gallery Foundation. Abul, you're very, very welcome. Thank you for being here with us.
Thank you, Eva. Thank you for having me.
Okay, it's your first time here, and I
It
can't
is.
believe that we've never had you actually on the radio before.
It is.
Welcome, and thank you for coming. So tell me a little bit about who Abul Oyay is as a visual artist.
Abul Oyay is a painter. She's an activist. Um, Lover of arts and creativity and nature and, name it.
Tradition and culture, we've seen a lot through you. So, before I get into the Loose Woman exhibition, I want you to tell us more about the Baobab House Art Gallery, your home vibe to home food, home cooked food,
Yeah.
a bit of tradition. Tell me a bit more about the idea behind that.
Well, I value myself. I value my art and my environment. And so the Baobab House was started in 2019. And you've been there. You've seen. Initially, it was a place for me just to walk, and I love to cook. And I remember we cook and invite friends, potluck. And then it grew into, of course, while I'm painting, I need to showcase these artworks that I'm painting. So we started doing exhibitions, wine and canvas. And it's a home to a lot of people. It's a place you can just come and also sit down and let go. Like in Juba, we go through so much stress every day, and you don't know what. There are no places where you can, apart from going to a restaurant or a hotel, there's no place that you can just sit quietly and breathe.
Yes.
And the Baobab has given that. It's been a place that a lot of people come to. So yeah.
Okay, what about the art gallery? Arguably, that's the first we've had in South Sudan.
True. Well, yeah, the first at least proper curated gallery, but also there is Studio One. So I won't take all the credit.
Shout out to Studio One.
Yeah, but and which I was part of as well. But s- South Sudan and Juba especially, there are no places for creatives to showcase their work. And there's so many artists out there. Some of them are our parents. I've met like grown up men, working in the military or different places, and they're artists. But then they're like, oh, I just do this. I used to paint, or I went to Khartoum College of Art, and they're just walking on the street. They're everywhere doing other businesses, but there are no places. There hasn't been a place where they can take their work to show. So the Baobab is for me, when I started it, it was more of a place that I could showcase my work, but also slowly we started growing. And I might not paint forever, but I'm thinking of curating as well, like showing our culture as South Sudanese, who we are as a people, but also like empowering a lot of young artists that, or artists before me and those that are coming up. And so far we're curating about 15 artists. There are more than that, but the specific number I'm
Yes.
sure of is 15. We've got people coming in every day, and it's somewhere.
It's great,
It's
absolutely
somewhere.
amazing. A part of also the art gallery, you host activities for people to come in, even if they're not artists,
Yeah.
but just as a therapeutic journey or experience for everyone. Tell me a bit more about that.
So far we do the wine on canvas, which is a fun thing. Everyone says, "Oh, I cannot draw, I cannot do this," but after sitting together, uh, a glass of wine or coffee or anything you like, then and you see other colleagues working as well, then you just the energy picks up and everybody's painting, they're drawing. We've also we do concerts, which we like known for now, and I mean I've been privileged to have a lot of friends that are artists from different backgrounds, and as you know, the art scene is in Nairobi is really amazing. All kinds of creativity, like they are out there, and I met a lot of friends. And when I started this, everyone is just reaching out. Hey, Abul, I want to come and showcase my work at Baobab. I want to come and perform at Baobab. And by the way, all these artists that come, um, yes, we pay their flights. We pay. I mean, they stay with me, and usually, they're like, we don't care. We can eat what you eat. We sleep whatever.
Right.
So they just come in willingly. It's not like, oh, I'm putting out a big concert out there. But also the different thing with a lot of concerts you see and the ones at the Baobab is I'm curating them as well. I'm picking. I know a lot of the music that I listen to is music, very conscious music. Like if you see someone, Fadili, the kind of
Yes.
music he sings, Accord, you know, Papillon. I mean, and these are artists that are very humble, but they've gone out there. I mean, Papillon performed for Queen Elizabeth and things like that. So it's music that is speaking about Africa, the culture, the people, and the future of Africa as well.
Yes,
So
that's what I was saying about the Baba being a vibe, not necessarily a place. So you
true,
get that home vibe, you get that not just South Sudanese but Africanness
exactly,
vibe, and that's
exactly.
very important and one of the main ingredients of why the Babab House has been so very successful. So congratulations on that. Really
Thank
lovely. I'm a
you. I
huge
mean, we all
fan,
did it.
of course.
Eva, you're
Yeah,
part of the Baobab
absolutely. I
too.
love the Babab House. Very, very successful. So, when it comes to exhibitions, art exhibitions, you've hosted quite a few art exhibitions, but your art does more than being something beautiful for the eye to see. It's almost, not almost, it is art with a purpose. There's always meaning behind it. You hosted the Malaya exhibition, which was very successful. And then now you have what you call the
The
loose
Lulu's woman.
woman, and it's beautiful artwork. You see it everywhere, but then you also see a lot of pain behind it.
True,
You see, you feel many feelings behind what your eyes do see. So tell me about the loose woman.
true. The Lulu's woman. So, I, I think the Lulu's. Usually, when I'm painting, I paint. It could be a topic that inspires me or what I see in my environment, and let the art speak for itself. The Lulu's woman for me, it's me stepping into my own power. It's also a gift to myself. I just turned 35, and as a South Sudanese lady, I I mean, I moved back in 2018, and my parents, my family. I don't have a family home here because of all the politics and everything, and so I had to look for my own place, living on my own, and also like from there everything around it all she's just the expectation. So coming back home, there is this expectation of, I mean, from the time we started Anataban, yeah, we're gonna go out and we're doing this and we're sending messages, but also on an individual level, I think I had my expectation of the country politically, um, socially, economically. I mean, I work every day. Every day I'm working. Literally, what I do in the Baobab and all in the other places I work is work to support myself. And then also there is the cultural expectation of me.
Right.
Oh, you're 35 now, and you should be having 5 kids, and and a man and this, but you're living on your own. And I mean, I live on my own, and of course, there's the all e- expectation, but also thoughts from outside.
Right.
And I mean, people have commented, but people have talked. People, parents have taken off their own stress to, hey, Abul, this and this, and our children. But the reality is, I come from a good place. I've been raised well. I and I, like, there's no way I'm gonna like dive in whatever. So, and I think my parents have trusted me to be independent on my own, and
Right.
know, like, oh, I mean, she's a fighter. She will go anywhere and she can survive. And so and I'm not. I mean, a lot of times people comment, but it's a choice to let this comment. I could get in my room, cry, and do nothing about it. My life is whatever. But I think I turned that into something beautiful and be like, okay, you can say this, but hey, this is. I know my worth in this. I know what I'm worth of. I'm worth of creativity. I'm worth of this. I'm worth of love. I'm worth of everything. And I'm gonna put this on canvas.
Right. So if
Yeah.
you feel that if you feel that I'm a loose woman
Exactly.
because I'm not married right now and I'm 35 and there are no
Yeah.
children, and I'm going to own it
Exactly.
because I'm very content with
Exactly.
who I am. That's a very, very beautiful, very powerful actually to say, because a lot of women, you find South Sudanese women that are going through this from every corner,
Exactly.
and it's at different ages. It's not just one age,
True.
right? It's at different
It
ages,
is, yeah.
right? And you are titled a loose woman. You are named a loose
Yeah.
woman at different ages based on what is happening around you at that time.
True.
So it's not good enough regardless of how old
Exactly.
you
It's
are.
never good enough. I mean, and it's not only it's I'm picking marriage out because it's something that I've seen a lot of friends and go through. But truth is, it's even funny that I'm calling it a loose woman because I mean, not funny, but I wanted something that everybody picks up on. Oh my God, the loose woman. I remember the moment I put it out, people like, what do you mean? And is this you? And why this? But telling a story is how you capture people's attention as well to it. But personally, for me, I'm not under pressure as such. Like, I have a very supportive family and a father who's like, hey,
Right.
do your thing, take your time, and it's not about the cows and the goats and the fish and all this. It's just be you. But I've seen friends. I mean, at the Baobab, I've seen people go through so much, and that's why we maybe right. I picked up the marriage as the first thing, but it's socially
Many different things.
yeah, so many
Mhm.
different things. It's our relationship with our parents as well.
Right.
Because I mean, we recently were discussing about it, and I remember someone was like, sometimes I feel like I live 3 lives because I have to be this person at home, and then I have to be this person at work, and I have to be the cool one with friends, and you know. But how do we? And that's a lot of stress for young people.
It's
like
a lot of
lots
work.
of running around. How do you just find yourself, see your value? And I think most of the time it's internalizing it. Like, hey, I'm this and this, and this is what I'm worth. Take it or leave it. I will go to the office and be true.
Right.
Take it or leave it. If you have a problem with me, that or I'll go out and
Right.
exactly, like, just basically just be you. And so the loose woman is just saying, like, you know putting that as like it's gonna pass over my head,
Right.
and
Right.
I know who I am, and I'm moving on. I'm gonna keep moving on. Yeah.
Kudos to you for doing that. So when you revealed, I'm sure many conversations came up
Hmm.
out of the artwork, and what does loose woman mean? Because you're right, it's very relatable. That title is extremely relatable to all women because we've all heard it
Exactly.
before, right? So, what were some of the comments that you've heard or conversations you've had?
Um, Interesting. I mean, the cover photo I think was very provocative in so many ways, and I intended it. So, and what I loved, I had this group of American that came, and and one of them was like, the loose woman. You know, in America, lose means, you know, yeah,
She's
this
all over the
she's
place.
all over the place, and I'm like, yeah, that's the intention. And the good thing when I was putting it out, I put a write up, a small write up explaining what it was, so they, of course, with individual, every time I had a conversation with somebody, then I have to like put them back in the narrative, like, hey, this is how, this is my intention when I was working on this piece. And then later on, they start telling me their stories. Oh, yeah, this is how I feel, and this is what I've been through. And so I felt like at least I did something that um, a lot of people relate to it. And not only women, by the way, like a lot of men as well. Like,
That's
you
interesting.
know,
Yes.
and
So you've heard from men that actually relate.
to it. I mean, they feel the pressure as much as we do, you know. Like at the Baobab, we always have this girls' talk and just sit and talk about everything and nothing. But and a lot of times the guys are like, "Hey, why are you not organizing for us this? Because we're going through the same stress. We're going through the you know the pressure, the fear pressure. It could be economy. You know, you're not making you the job is not paying you that much, and you've got a whole lot of family to take care of. You're from a a marriage that is not working out, but you have to keep on because these two families decided they're gonna put you two together. You know divorce and things like that, and a lot of young both men and women are going through all this stress and the mental illness of that
Right.
and with a lot of time it the way we regard it here it's like the shame of you know we don't want to know we don't I you just you want to close your eyes and act like
It's
it's
not
not
happening.
yeah it's not happening.
Right.
So it was very powerful reception, and I'm really humbled that a lot of people showed up and they related to every piece of it. To be honest, like so many
Right.
pieces.
Well, so one of the most interesting, not interesting, I don't know the word, but one of the conversations, biggest
Mm,
conversations that have been happening online involved much of slut shaming,
mm,
right? So when
mm,
I heard about the loose women and then I saw the art recently, I saw a lot of that as
yeah.
well, right? Because you go online and someone posts, a woman posts a picture.
Right.
Um, whatever she's wearing or not wearing um, might not be understood by whoever is seeing it,
Mm,
right? And
yeah.
then from there, automatically, she's a loose woman,
True.
right? We've had situations where um, revenge porn has been a thing.
Oh
And
yeah.
we've seen revenge porn get twisted in a way that was shocking to me. I mean, someone betrays someone and puts something out
Mm,
there that is very vulnerable and revealing of that person, but then the victim is blamed
true.
for it all.
Always.
Why are you, such a loose
Loose
woman
woman.
for this
Exactly.
to actually happen? Have you seen some of these conversations, some of these horrendous acts that are happening online, and has it also inspired or contributed to why you created this artwork?
Well, the loose woman for me, it's been. I mean, I'm always very. I don't put my relationships out there,
Right.
and I think this is one thing I also need to advise like a lot of young girls. Yes, sometimes you're in love and everything, but it's not worth it. Like if this person loves you and cares about you, you don't have to go all the way. So when you see things like that happening, then clearly it shows what the relationship was from the beginning, anyway.
Mm.
Um, but I mean, with the all slut shaming, I've you know, that time sometimes you go to places and somebody walks in and you're hearing whispers, you know, so and
Mm.
so, and oh, how did she get this and how did she do that? And I mean, it's not that every girl who is driving is sleeping with some general or uncle somewhere, you know. I'm, and I'm gonna be in defense of that because like I said, I work hard for whatever I do. You know, I don't go that this and that like, and so when I come up with stories like this, it's because I'm defending women like me that are working so hard and they're not given respect for that. You know, most of the time I don't listen to.
Right. Now I hear you. Then we also have the double standard. Double
Exactly.
standards, right? If a woman does it, she's loose. If a
Exactly,
man
he
does it,
does
he's
it.
just being a
Then
man.
he's a man. But but you see that a lot with. I mean, I grew up in Uganda, and there were times when the girl, she's pregnant at school, she gets pregnant, then she she's kicked out of school, and the guy, you know, the boy or the young man continues studying. But at the end of the day, I mean, these are two young people that still have a larger future. Why are you keeping her home just because she had, you know? And it, I mean, it takes a two to tango, for Christ's sake. It's, you know, so.
Absolutely. And then also we have, it gets deeper than
Mm,
even that, right? Because we have women who are victims of rape, and they're also called loose, and
exactly.
they are blamed for something, for the actions of people, you know, that they
Mm,
did not consent to at all,
true.
but they are the loose women. So we have that as well, and it gets deeper and deeper in different, you know, in
Yeah,
different spaces and for different women, different experiences.
true. I mean, you. A lot of time I've read stories, have heard of stories, and seen stories like that of, you know, the person goes through abuse, you know, a young person, and then they're told, "Oh, why did you dress like this?" Or sometimes even their own family members would, like, everybody turns against them, and I don't know. It's can I call it a human thing? Because it doesn't happen only in South Sudan. It's something that happens in a lot of places. But I think it's always speaking on the weaker. Um, and I'm not saying the women are weaker, but I don't know why is it so easy for somebody to just say, "Hey, you dressed this way. Hey, you deserved it. You went and looked for it." But in reality, is, you know, talk to your sons, talk to your husbands, and they need to control themselves. If I'm dressed whichever, it's the way I am comfortable, you know, and then they should be able to control themselves, or
Right?
at least respect where they come
It
from.
does
You
not give
know,
them the
it
right in
doesn't give the
any
right
way
to.
to abuse you in any manner.
Exactly.
Absolutely, I
Because
agree.
if that was the case, then people in Mundari would have, you go there and people walk naked or almost have, you know, like less dressed. You don't hear crazy stories
True,
like
but then the crazy thing about it is that you have women that dress closed up from head to toe, and it still
and it's
happens to them.
true.
You get, so how
Exactly.
is that an excuse now?
Now it is. I think it's just an excuse. It's how do I call it? I think you know, it depends on people and their morals. If you don't have morals, wherever you go, you're always gonna act wild and different, and you know. So
True, but it also has a lot to do with power. Because ever since, you know,
exactly.
we came about, um, we've just seen, we've been treated like men are higher power, right?
Of
Or some
course.
type of a godly power, but always higher than women.
True.
And they do not like if they don't have that power. So they're
Exactly.
going to try and obtain it or keep it regardless of whether you like it or
Or not.
not.
True.
This is what we've always seen. So it's mostly a power struggle. That's why a lot of women activists out there
Mm.
speak on how culture is very negative, you know,
True.
on the South Sudanese woman,
Women.
because it's
True.
culture that gives men the most power
True.
around, not even the law. Literally, it's culture that is on top of everything else, and it gives men more power than anything.
True. I've gone to places where, you go to a house and then you're hearing the mother screaming, "Hey, wash your brother's clothes!" And these are like an old, it's like, why can't he wash his own
Why can't he do
clothes?
it
And
himself?
it starts from simple things like if you raise your children from a young age knowing that they're all equal, then they will grow up that way.
Right.
I'm from a place where, oh, my mom, like, when growing up, we all those years, all of us had work to do. We wake up in the morning. The girls, of course, were in the kitchen. We're doing all these things, and it was intense. So if it's the girls sweeping the compound, the next day is gonna, and then the boys will be in the making breakfast. And during the war days, so you find a house has 30 people. Clearly, you're not gonna just put that all on the girls to work. So I've grown up seeing all that, like equality within our home. And sometimes, like, when I get out to places or go to Genovian homes in here, it's
It doesn't
shocking,
make sense,
cause, yeah,
right?
because I'm like, really, this small thing, or haven't you been taught well? And but again, it's something you find everywhere. But I don't know when we say culture, because I lived in the village as well, and like back when I was young. And yes, of course, the daily thing, the women cook, the woman cooks, she takes care of the kids and all that. But then the men, they had a responsibility as well. They go farm, they go, do all they do to make sure that there's food on the table. But when we talk of culture today, and the culture that I've seen in Juba, where everybody, you know, you're dating a guy and he expects to be spoon fed, a grown up man, or like he expects everything done for him. Like, really, you're supposed to be the modern young guy that has gone to school, that has learned, that I don't know, has come from, you've been to the US or at least traveled East Africa, and like,
Right.
what happened in the midst of all, like, you went all the way and you can't come back with something, you're still acting like that,
Right. It's
you know
almost I feel as though women have evolved.
Sure.
They're transforming, right? Because women have now taken up roles that they've been told for a lifetime that they can't
True.
or they shouldn't, right?
True.
But they're doing it right now. And with that, a lot of roles, and let me say
Yeah.
gender roles that have been set
Yeah.
with culture have to change.
Sure.
It's a must, yeah.
I mean, and this is why the loose woman for me is like I said, it's something that it's a gift to myself. I'm gonna own up to what I do. I know my worth. I know my creativity, but also to celebrating sisters that have broken the culture norms of, hey, you're Eva, your work is in the kitchen. I mean, look
Right.
at you, or you're so and so. So it's just to celebrate women that have, and it didn't come easy, like, if you meet a lot of young South Sudanese that are doing amazing stuff, but then they've gone out there, they are they're doing amazing things. You have sisters on catwalks, on the runways, and being a woman of color, or a dark woman in the US, maybe it wasn't that easy, but then they've broken through in all this international, like, for the women that are doing what we're doing today, then it's also good that you have somebody, at least there's a small girl somewhere looking up and be like, I want to be on the radio like Eva, I want to paint like Abul, I want to be a well, be this, like.
Right. I thought the loose woman was very important. It was very much needed, just for the simple fact that women also need to know that it's okay. You know what I mean? Because you hear those things, and regardless of how strong a person is or a woman is, it does affect you. It
True.
does get to you,
True.
because it's not easy to continuously hear. Because if we really look at it, she goes home she's doing something wrong and she's loose because of it.
Exactly.
If she's online, something is
It's
wrong
wrong.
and she's
She's
loose
loose.
because of
You
it.
know.
At work, it's the same story. So it's almost like a lifestyle that
Mm.
women are living on the daily.
True.
And women need to hear that, hey, it's okay that you don't like to wash dishes. It's
Exactly.
really,
It
really
is
fine.
okay.
You don't have to do that. And it's okay that you want to wear a short skirt. And it's okay
True.
that, that you fall in love, with one person and it doesn't work out and you fall
Fall
in
in
love
love
with someone
again. You know.
else.
Yeah.
That's
True.
very
True.
okay. No one needs to police you at all. It's not
Exactly.
correct.
Exactly.
So we don't hear enough of uh, encouragement. I think the right word would be empowerment.
Empowerment, and also knowing what is good for you. You know, like I mean, my father loves me. My moms, I have many moms. They love me. My siblings, my wife. But then, what they want for me might not be what I want for myself. So,
Right?
at what point do you know what is good for you? At what point do you know when you need to stand up for yourself and be like, yes, I respect you, but then this is what I want. And it also goes to a lot of y- young people that when it comes to our careers. You're all, oh, be a lawyer, be this, and you find at the end of the day you can't do anything at all because the pressure is on, um, the culture pressure, the expectation, and you just lose it. It's just like, you know.
Yes, absolutely. And another term that really, really bothers me, and I see this online all of the time, and I also hear it, everywhere I go, is slay queen. I don't know if
Yeah,
you've heard this
yeah.
term
Oh, hello.
before.
All the
Right,
slay queens of,
right.
of
The
Juba.
slay queen. So no one has been able to give me um, a, a definition that, that makes sense.
Mm.
Like, you have people online that, oh, she's a slay queen, the slay queens of Juba, and then the slay queen is sleeping with somebody,
Mm.
the slay queen is on a date with somebody, the
Yeah.
slay queen has Brazilian hair
Hair.
on. Hey, everyone in
It's
Juba has Brazilian
Brazilian,
hair.
exactly.
Everyone in Juba is going on a date with
Somebody.
somebody. Every, every person in Juba wants to look good. So what exactly is this slay queen thing? And I really now hate the term because it has become, I never considered it an insult, right? So
Yeah.
in the beginning, way back, sometimes you make yourself up, you look good and stuff. Hey, I'm slaying today.
Exactly.
It's slay queen things.
I mean, we
Um,
all don't we all. I mean, I like to. There are times where I just feel good about myself. I mean, I
right?
always do, but if I don't have to be in Baobab all the time, I dress up nice, go by the river, Da Vinci affects, have my glass of wine, put on heels if I need to. Does that make me slay queen? No.
Ex-
And what is slay queen anyway? Like, where did it
that's
come
what I'm
from?
saying.
But I think it's because if you go somewhere else, it might not mean the perception of what it is in Juba.
That's the thing. The
And
perception is very, very off because
true,
that's not what, that's not the meaning of the word. It's
true,
almost like it's been changed into something else.
true.
And
Um,
it really hurts. I can see it hurting hurting many women's
mm,
feelings now. You
true,
don't see women that want to, own to who they are right now because
exactly.
of things like this. And it's a really terrible thing. It's almost like you're bullying someone,
True,
right? For absolutely no reason, for something that you're probably doing as well, for something that everyone in Juba or around the world is doing as well. Makes no sense at all.
I mean, it's almost like V8. Um, If somebody gave me a free beard today, I wouldn't take it. I don't care how new it is. Why?
Just
Because
because of the
it's the perception of,
that
oh,
comes with it.
who did she, or that is stolen money, or, this is corruption money. Like, it's just, it, a beard is not a beard anymore. It's a symbol of something.
Right. You see,
And
now we can't even accept gifts. Like, this
Exactly.
is how
Like,
bad
no.
it is. We can't even accept gifts. But no, moving on, not moving on from the loose woman, but
Yeah.
just follow up. I know you've hosted about 2 chats or conversations, which I was
Yeah.
really, really happy to hear that has happened with women, with young women, working women, just
Yeah.
women within different spaces. You've had conversations. Tell me about what the loose woman conversation went like.
Oh, it was amazing. We did it at the end of the exhibition, and taking off the paintings, and I just wanted to sit down and see, like, the, whatever the caption was for the whole week. Did it make impact? So it was amazing that the ladies came. We had Sari Mading, Auntie Sari,
Shout out to Sarima Ding, one of my favorite people.
yes, and Mimi's mom, or she had just come from London, and amazing. Like, yes, she's walking, she's doing all this, but then I just found out she she plays, she writes as well, and she does plays and all that. So, and to see women, like older women doing, regaining what they love to do and doing it now, that's amazing. That and a lot of the usual Baobab girls, and also like a couple of friends that came for the event and talking about their lives, just the loose situation in the family, in the workplace, the pressure of just being you sometimes. I mean, I mean, it's not easy to be a bull, So, and
Right.
it just came from a place where they were talking about themselves, and about how the work inspired them to, just be out there. And I like, because the whole week we were just people were just talking, and it's like, hey, I'm being loose, I'm going to do what I like to do, I'm going to be myself. So, and I'm so glad that they took it that way, and it's still the terminology all over now. Like,
Yes,
just shake it
you
out,
you I think
Go-
you managed to change what a loose woman means, and that's a powerful thing to do, because we really shy away as women. We shy away from doing certain things or
yeah,
being ourselves in certain spaces because of terms like that, because we
true.
don't want them to think that is who we are. But the thing is, if that's who you are, that's okay and that's fine. No one
True.
has the right to
Don't
tell
be
you.
apologetic about it. Like, go out. I mean, a lot of
Right.
time, as girls and young women, you're told how to carry yourself this way, be this. But then, I mean, if that's who you are, most of the time I'm a very quiet person. I'll be quiet, and in a lot of things, and I think a lot of people think, like, okay, maybe, you know but when it's time to talk, if I feel like I should express myself at that moment, I'll do
You
it.
will.
you know
Right.
so go out, just be you, celebrate yourself, really. Like, you don't have to live under um people's shadows, or people's expectation, and people's assumptions of you.
Very important. I think I just figured out what your next exhibition should be called.
What is it?
Unapologetic. That should be
Yes.
that should be the title of the next exhibition. But
Be
otherwise,
unapologetic.
everyone that is listening, if you'd like to have a look at the Loose Woman artwork, head on to the Baobab
Baobab
House
House. Yeah.
in Bullock. That is
Yes.
for Abul by Abul Oyay. And the loose woman, like you heard, it represents everyone. It talks about you if you're a working woman. It talks about you if you're an independent woman. It talks about you if you're a slay queen. We're all
Yeah.
loose women
We're all
out
loose
here.
women.
So please go have a look at yourself and reflect on who you are, and then be content with who you are and celebrate yourself as well. Abul, before I take us out, what are your last words for loose women out there?
Um, Keep on being loose. Keep on doing what you love. Know your worth, your self-esteem, and for the mothers and the women before us, the women that have um, shown the light, in the movement. We talk about the Katiba Banat, and I mean the women that have been out. Like let's celebrate each other. Celebrate your sisters, celebrate yourself, celebrate life.
Thank you so much, Abul, for being here with us. I am sure that we're going to have more and more conversations, and also
Thank
have
you.
conversations about coming together and bringing both audiences of the Baobab House and Gender Talk 211
Perfect.
and hosting everyone to where we can celebrate each other.
Other.
Otherwise, thank you so much for being who you are, for being content with who you are, and then for celebrating us with you through your art and creativity. Thank you so much for being with us, and I can't wait to have you again. Thank you, everyone, for joining
Thank you for
us
having me.
today. My name is Eva Lopa, and this is Gender Talk 211. I will come back to you next Thursday, same time, same place. And I am out. Have a